The cold wind of space swept across the silent battlefield, leaving nothing but the distant hum of alien ships and the faint glow of Earth's atmosphere. Alex stood alone on the surface of the abandoned moon, his suit glowing faintly in the darkness. Every step he took echoed against the metal ruins, and yet he walked calmly, like he belonged here. Above him, the alien fleet hovered, a dark mass of shining ships, their lights cutting through the void. Lyra, the alien commander, watched him carefully from her hovering craft, her weapon trained on his heart. She had been told that humans were weak, foolish, and easy to destroy, but there was something different about this one. Alex smiled, a small, confident curve of his lips that made Lyra pause. "Why are you smiling?" she demanded through her translator, her voice sharp and tense. "You haven't seen anything yet?" Alex said softly, almost a whisper, yet loud enough for her to hear. It was strange, almost mocking, and it made her tighten her grip on her weapon. Around them, the battlefield was silent, but not empty. Small alien drones floated in the shadows, ready to attack at any sign of weakness. Alex moved slowly, deliberately, each step measured, showing no fear. He looked at the ruined towers, the broken weapons, and the alien machines surrounding him. It seemed like a trap, yet he moved forward as if he knew something they did not. Lyra frowned. She had trained for centuries for moments like this, for humans to panic and run. But Alex did not move like a human afraid. He moved like someone who had already won. Her soldiers whispered warnings into her ear, urging her to fire, to end him before he could act. She hesitated, just for a moment, and that was all he needed. Alex raised his hand slowly, pointing at one of the alien drones. "They will fall if you hesitate," he said calmly, his voice steady. The drone froze, then turned sharply, almost as if it had heard him. Lyra blinked, confused, and for the first time, doubt touched her mind. How could one human control even a single drone? Alex took another step forward, closer to the alien fleet, closer to Lyra herself. Every soldier on both sides watched in silence, their weapons ready, yet frozen by the tension. The air was thick with danger, but Alex did not flinch. He was small, fragile by appearance, but his eyes held something impossible, fearless mind, a clever plan. Suddenly, he stopped, looking directly at Lyra. "I wonder," he said slowly, "if you were holding that weapon right." Her fingers tightened on the trigger, unsure if she had misheard him. "Any last words?" she asked, trying to hide her doubt, trying to keep control. Alex smiled wider, and in that moment, the calm before the storm filled the battlefield. Around them, the alien ships moved, circling, watching, waiting for one mistake. Alex stayed still, but in his mind, every possible move, every possibility, was already calculated. The tension was unbearable, like the quiet before a thunderstorm, and for the first time, Lyra realized that this human was not afraid, not reckless, but clever, and cleverness, she knew, was far more dangerous than strength. The first shot could come any second, and yet, Alex did not flinch. He smiled, waiting, letting her doubt grow, letting her question everything she had been taught. The audience would hold their breath, waiting to see what he would do next, because in this moment, one wrong move could decide the fate of Earth, the fate of humanity. And that moment, that tiny pause between life and death, was where heroes were born. The silence broke with a soft hum. The alien drones, moving around Alex, scanning every shadow. Lyra's eyes narrowed as she watched him, her finger hovering over the trigger. Every soldier on the battlefield held their breath, waiting for one mistake. But Alex did not move recklessly. He studied the drones, the alien soldiers, even the way Lyra's eyes flickered with doubt. Humans are unpredictable, Lyra muttered under her breath, almost to herself. She had never seen a human this calm, this focused, this fearless. Alex took another slow step forward, his eyes never leaving hers. It was a simple move, but it carried a strange confidence, a silent warning. Around them, the battle began in small flashes. One drone flew too close to Alex, and with a quick motion, he tapped his wrist device. The drone froze mid-air, then dropped to the ground. Harmless Lyra's jaw tightened, realizing that this human was controlling something she thought impossible. Her soldiers whispered nervously among themselves, confusion and fear spreading. Alex moved forward again, using the debris of the destroyed towers as cover. He was clever, hiding in plain sight, making the alien soldiers overthink every step. Lyra tried to shout orders, but every command seemed to come too late. The humans' tactics were simple but brilliant, and the aliens were struggling to adapt. Then Alex stopped suddenly, standing on a small hill of rubble. He raised his hands slowly, not threatening, just calm. He spoke, his voice carrying clearly through the battlefield. "You underestimate us," he said, a small smile on his lips. "And that will be your mistake." Lyra hesitated, her mind racing. She had trained for centuries, but she had never faced a human like this, one who could think, plan, and act so calmly under pressure. Suddenly, a small explosion rocked the left flank of the alien fleet. A human drone, hidden earlier, had hit a key supply ship. Lyra's soldiers reacted too slowly. Caught off guard by the unexpected move, Alex had used their own hesitation against them, creating chaos without firing a single shot himself. Lyra's doubt grew into frustration. She pointed her weapon again, trying to regain control. But Alex had already moved to another position, making her aim even harder. It was a game of mind and skill, a battle of wits more than strength. Every moment, Alex seemed to predict her next move, keeping her on the edge of panic. "Why are you still alive?" Lyra shouted, almost angry, almost scared. Alex simply smiled, calm and confident, as if he already knew the answer. He raised a small device in his hand, a signal to the other humans hidden nearby. The battlefield was turning slowly, silently, in humanity's favor. Lyra's eyes widened. She realized something terrifying. Humans were not weak. They were clever, adaptable, and fearless when pushed to the edge. And one human, just one, could change everything. The air was thick with suspense, every second stretching like an eternity. Alex was ready for the next move, Lyra unsure if she should attack or retreat. The audience would feel every heartbeat, every tiny hesitation, because the next moment could decide the fate of the entire fleet. And in that moment, humanity's cunning was becoming their greatest weapon. Alex crouched behind the shattered remains of an alien tower, his eyes scanning the battlefield. Lyra's fleet had regained some order, but her confidence was fading. She realized humans were not only brave, they were clever, unpredictable, and fast. And Alex, the prototype, was the perfect example of that cunning. A small smirk appeared on Alex's face. He had noticed something the aliens had overlooked. A supply drone, left unguarded near the edge of the battlefield, carried a small but powerful weapon. Alex tapped his wrist device, sending a silent signal to the human squad hidden nearby. They had been waiting for this moment, a trap perfectly timed. Lyra's eyes narrowed as she saw one of her drones move strangely, almost as if it hesitated, before she could react. A bright flash erupted from the supply drone. The explosion was small, precise, and it disabled a key alien communication hub. Confusion spread among the alien soldiers, giving humans an unexpected advantage. Alex rose from his cover, moving confidently into the open. Lyra's soldiers aimed at him, but their shots missed by inches. Every step Alex took seemed calculated, every movement a challenge. He was no longer just surviving, he was leading, controlling, dominating. "You think you have the upper hand?" Alex called, his voice steady, calm. Lyra's finger twitched. On the trigger, anger and fear warring inside her. "Humans are cleverer than you imagine," he added, pointing subtly to another drone. The drone froze, then turned, disrupting another group of alien soldiers. Her soldiers whispered among themselves, their confidence breaking. Suddenly, a larger explosion rocked the battlefield, sending debris flying. Lyra's eyes widened in disbelief. How could one human cause so much chaos? Alex had used the aliens' own machines against them, turning their technology into a trap. He had predicted every move, every hesitation, every weakness. Lyra clenched her fists. She had never faced an enemy like this, a human who did not fight like a normal soldier, who did not fear death. Alex's calmness, his cleverness, and his courage were unlike anything she had known. She realized she had underestimated the humans completely, and that mistake could cost her everything. Alex's squad, hidden in the shadows, moved silently, striking at critical points. Alien drones fell one by one, their systems hacked, their pilots disoriented. Chaos spread through the fleet, and Lyra could only watch. Her soldiers tried to regroup, but every action seemed countered before it began. Then Alex did something unexpected, something no one predicted. He stepped forward, into the heart of the battlefield, directly in front of Lyra. The humans around him created a shield, invisible but impenetrable. He raised his hand calmly, not in surrender, but as a challenge. Lyra hesitated, her weapon shaking slightly. Alex smiled again, a small, confident curve of his lips. "You are strong." "Yes," he said softly, "but humans think differently." The words struck her, echoing through the battlefield, through the chaos, through every alien mind. This human was not just a soldier, he was a symbol of Earth's courage, intelligence, and cunning. For the first time, Lyra's control faltered completely. She realized she was no longer facing a weak enemy. She was facing a mind she could not predict, a force she could not contain, and that realization sent a chill through her. Alex had turned the battlefield upside down. The humans were no longer hiding, they were taking control. And one human, fearless and brilliant, was changing the course of the war. The audience would hold their breath, knowing the midpoint twist had arrived, the game had changed, and nothing would ever be the same again. The battlefield roared with chaos. Explosions shaking the ground, an alien drone spinning out of control. Alex moved like a shadow, calm and precise, weaving between debris and fire. Lyra's soldiers fired wildly, but their shots missed him every time. He was not fast by human standards, he was clever, predicting every move before it happened. Lyra hovered above, her weapon trained on him, eyes narrowing. She could see the humans gaining ground, their traps working perfectly. Every drone disabled, every soldier stunned, every strategy she had relied on falling apart, and yet Alex never seemed afraid, never seemed desperate. "Do you see now?" Alex called out, his voice carrying over the explosions. "Humans are not weak. We fight differently. We win differently." Lyra's fingers twitched, and for a moment, doubt clouded her mind. She realized her soldiers had been fooled, outsmarted, and trapped by one human and the cleverness of his team. Suddenly, Alex dove to the side, narrowly avoiding a blast from an alien turret. He tapped his wrist device, and the small hidden human squads activated another trap. Alien soldiers scrambled as explosions cut off escape routes. Ships crashed into one another, lights flickering, chaos everywhere. Lyra gritted her teeth. She had trained for centuries, but she had never faced this one human controlling the battlefield like a master. Her own drones hesitated, unsure which commands to follow, and Alex knew exactly where each one would go before they moved. He leaped onto a fallen alien machine, using it as a bridge to advance closer to her. Lyra aimed carefully, but Alex ducked, rolled, and stood just out of reach. "You are clever," she admitted, her voice tight, but not enough. Alex tilted his head, smiling calmly. "Clever enough to survive," he replied. Then he pointed to a drone behind her control panel, and it froze mid-flight. A human sabotage had taken over, locking the systems, leaving her vulnerable. Lyra's fleet trembled, her soldiers panicked. Alex moved forward, fearless, every step precise, every move calculated. He was not reckless, but he carried the weight of humanity's hope on his shoulders, and the aliens could feel that this was not a normal human, not a normal fight. Then came the final moment, the pause before the strike. Alex and Lyra faced each other directly, the chaos of war all around. He could end her, he could risk his life, but he chose intelligence. He used a simple, brilliant tactic, manipulating the alien ships to collide with each other. The explosions were massive, sending shockwaves through the battlefield. Lyra's weapon shook in her hands as her fleet crumbled. She realized she had been beaten, not by strength, but by intelligence, courage, and cleverness. Alex stood tall, calm, victorious without killing unnecessarily. The humans around him cheered silently, their traps successful, their strategy perfect. The battlefield was a mix of fire, smoke, and scattered alien machines. Lyra descended slowly, her pride wounded, but her respect for humans growing. She had underestimated them completely, and it had cost her fleet. Alex looked at her calmly, not with hatred, but with understanding. This was the difference. Humans fought not just with weapons, but with minds, and in that moment, the audience could feel the heart of HFI humans, underestimated and mocked, rising against impossible odds, brave, clever, and unyielding, turning the tide with intelligence, courage, and strategy. The climax of the battle was over, but its effect would be remembered forever. Humanity had proven its strength, and one, human, fearless and brilliant, had become a legend. The battlefield was quiet now, but the air was heavy with smoke and debris. Alien ships lay scattered, some damaged, some completely destroyed. Lyra hovered above, her weapon lowered, her eyes wide with disbelief. She had faced humans many times, but she had never seen anything like this. Alex walked slowly through the wreckage, his steps calm, confident, unshaken, around him. The surviving human soldiers emerged from the shadows, checking the fallen aliens. Their traps had worked perfectly. Their cleverness had turned the tide. Humanity had survived, not by brute strength, but by intelligence, courage, and strategy. Lyra landed cautiously nearby, her voice soft but firm. "You are different," she admitted, the words heavy with respect. Alex looked at her calmly, nodding slightly. "We fight differently," he said, "and we win differently." She realized that this human, this one soldier, had changed her understanding of their enemy. The aliens began to retreat, their pride wounded, their fleet broken. Lyra gave the order silently, her eyes never leaving Alex. She had lost the battle, but she had gained knowledge of humanity's true power. Humans were not weak. They were clever, fearless, and unstoppable when united. Alex turned back to his squad, his calm smile returning. "We did what we came here to do," he said, "and we survived because we thought, not just fought." The humans around him nodded, understanding the lesson strength alone is not enough. Cleverness, planning, and courage were the true weapons of humanity. In the distance, Earth's surface glowed, a reminder of what they were fighting for. Families, friends, future generations, all relying on humans to stand brave and clever. Alex looked up at the stars, knowing that humanity had just taken its first step toward greatness. This battle was not the end, it was the beginning, a sign that humans could overcome any odds. Lyra finally spoke again, her voice quieter, almost thoughtful. "You will be remembered," she said, "not just as a soldier, but as a mind we could not predict." Alex nodded, understanding the meaning of her words. It was not about destruction, it was about showing what humans could do. And today, humanity had proven that they could survive, thrive, and even outsmart the strongest enemy. The surviving humans gathered their equipment, checking their devices, preparing to return to Earth. The alien fleet disappeared into the dark of space, leaving behind only wreckage and the memory of defeat. Alex looked at his team, proud, but not boastful, knowing that every human had played a part. It was teamwork, intelligence, and courage that had made victory possible. And in that moment, the essence of HFY was clear. Humans, underestimated by every enemy, rising with courage, cleverness, and heart, proving that even against impossible odds, intelligence and bravery could triumph. The stars shone brighter that night, as if acknowledging humanity's spirit. And Alex walked toward the transport ship, ready to return, ready to fight again, for Earth, for humanity, and for the proof that humans could never be counted out. The battlefield was silent now, but the legend of humanity's cleverness would echo forever. One human had changed the course of war, and in doing so, reminded the universe, never underestimate humanity.